Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the crazy world of corporate finance. And we have a doozy today because we're looking at a company that is essentially saying goodbye to the big leagues today. We are diving into Clearside Biomedical Incorporated's latest 8K filing, and let me tell you, this one is less about exciting new ventures and more about a company heading towards a significant transition. Before we jump in, if you love getting these simplified breakdowns of complex corporate filings, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and for those who want to connect with other finance enthusiasts even faster, check out our Discord community link down below. We're building a great team there. So the big story here is Clearside Biomedical Incorporated is officially saying farewell to the Nasdaq stock market. This isn't a usual stock split or a new product launch. This is a company delisting its shares, which usually signals some pretty serious underlying issues. The core of this report is about the formal process of removing Clearside's common stock from the Nasdaq. This happened because the company had to file for bankruptcy relief under Chapter 11. Their common stock was suspended from trading on Nasdaq in early December and has already started trading on a much smaller market called the OTC Pink Limited Market under a slightly different SIM. BOL CLSDQ. Now, even though Nasdaq had planned to take their own steps to delist the company, Clearside decided to get ahead of it. They filed their own Form 25, which is a notification to remove a security from listing. This form becomes official about 10 days after it is filed. So we're looking around the 18th of December this year. This filing also means they'll stop being registered under a specific section of the Exchange Act, which will actually reduce some of their reporting duties to the SEC. This sounds like a step towards operating on a much smaller scale. Let's talk about their stock for a second. The ticker symbol that used to be CLSD on Nasdaq will now be CLSDQ on the OTC Pink market. This is a massive downgrade from a major exchange like Nasdaq to a much less regulated over. Countermarket, this often means lower trading volumes, less liquidity, and generally more price volatility for investors who are holding shares. It is a tough pill to swallow. The reason for all this is pretty straightforward. The company has voluntarily filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. These filings are typically used by companies that want to restructure their debts and operations in a way that can help them survive and potentially continue operating. This isn't liquidation usually, but it does mean significant changes are coming. The company is also including a standard warning about forward-looking statements. They're saying that their plans for delisting and deregistration are based on current expectations, but there are a lot of risks and uncertainties involved. They specifically mention the timing and outcome of the bankruptcy filing, the amount of operating capital they'll have access to, and how all this will affect the stock price and trading volatility. This is a crucial part for any investor to pay attention to because it highlights how uncertain the future is. Now, when we look at the core of why a company like this ends up in this situation, it often boils down to financial health or the lack thereof, while this particular 8K filing is more about the delisting process itself. The context provided points to deeper financial troubles that led to the bankruptcy filing in normal times. We'd be looking at revenue growth, profit margins, and cash flow. But here, the bankruptcy is the headline. Essentially, what we're seeing is a company that can no longer meet the listing requirements of a major stock exchange. Like Nasdaq, this usually happens due to a prolonged period of losses, falling stock prices, or failing to maintain a certain level of public float or market capitalization. In Clearside's case, the Chapter 11 filing is the nail in the coffin for their Nasdaq listing. For the investors holding Clearside stock, this delisting means that their shares will likely be much harder to trade, and the value could plummet further. Trading on the OTC Pink market is akin to trading in the penny stock world, where prices can swing wildly and it is much more difficult to find buyers or sellers. Let's think about what this means for the company's direction. Strength here are that they are attempting a restructuring rather than an outright shutdown. This means there is a belief they can pull through. Chapter 11 allows them to renegotiate contracts and debts, which could lead to a leaner, more sustainable business model moving forward. However, the weakness is undeniable. The need for bankruptcy protection itself signifies severe financial distress, and the move to a less regulated market suggests a significant loss of credibility and investor confidence. The biggest risk for Clearside now is that the restructuring efforts fail to generate enough revenue or attract enough capital to keep the business afloat if they cannot secure new funding. Or if their core business model does not improve significantly, they could still face liquidation. The opportunity lies in successfully emerging from Chapter 11 as a more focused and financially stable entity, potentially with a new business stable rate. But that is a huge if. In conclusion, Clearside Biomedical Incorporated is going through a painful but necessary transition. They are moving off the Nasdaq and onto the OTC Pink market as they navigate bankruptcy protection. This is a stark reminder of the risks in the biotechnology sector and the importance of Solid financial management, what is your take on Clearside's situation? Do you think they can successfully restructure and emerge from bankruptcy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you found this breakdown helpful. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more insights into the corporate world, and don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for more discussions and analysis. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.